gonna go over a couple more armbar finishes because I think that's it's sort of like an undercover secret that a lot of people don't really teach. So from guard, that's my main thing I like to do when I'm finishing the armbar from bottom. I like to make sure that I switch my arms and I'm not doing the normal way where you just use your other arm and your left arm's kind of just going rodeo style, not really doing anything. Switching your arms and using that other arm helps a lot to finish the armbar from bottom. Finishing from top, I think is a little bit easier, but there still are some good tricks that you can use. So whenever you're in mount or side control, you always want to be looking for that armbar, right? It's one of the best submissions there are in jiu-jitsu. Armbar, Kimura, triangle are like the trinity of best submissions in my opinion, the highest probability submissions as well. So when you're finishing the armbar from top, I'm sure we've all been to this position where we get the armbar here, let me sit, and they do the rear naked choke defense, or they may just have a really strong grip with their hands, like a gable grip style, but this is fine, just do this for now. There are a couple things we can do here as well. Now, you'll see the same thing sort of happening here where my right arm is through. Naturally, that's what people like to do. They like to put the arm through towards the head so they can lean back, but really, what is this hand for, right? We need to be using this hand for something. So, there's a couple things I like to do. Number one is I need to be working with this hand on this elbow here. Everything that's holding this position together and holding his defensive posture here is this elbow. So the first thing we can start doing is we can push on this elbow a little bit. It may not break the grip, right? But just by pushing that elbow there, it's helping us create pressure and make him more uncomfortable. It may not be everything, this may not work every single time. Like it's not just gonna pop open, but this is the first thing we can start doing to help put a little bit more pressure here. You'd be surprised just by pushing on this elbow what can happen. People's hands just may pop out. They may switch their position. They may feel uncomfortable with it. But yeah, pushing on the elbow here. The other thing I want you guys to do is try not to just rest your hand on your thigh. This doesn't really give you very much leverage on his arm. If I'm just leaning back, my arm has a lot of give here. It's not super strong. It's usually a better idea to grip inside your collar. That way when I lean back, all of that pressure leaning back is transferred directly into his arm. There's no give. Whereas when I'm like this, look at all this give I have here. It's just not super strong. So whenever you're having this armbar hooked here, you kind of want to have your hand on your collar here. That way when we're leaning, we're putting constant pressure on his arm. That coupled with pushing on his elbow can be very strong combination. Can be a very strong combination. So I'm here and here. Okay? So this is two things I can do already. Just pushing on the elbow and grabbing the collar will really increase your armbar finishing rate. One other thing, which is probably one of my favorite tricks I like to do, is instead of using my hand to push on his elbow, I use my leg. So what I'll do is I'll start with putting my hand on the elbow to create a little bit of space. And this arm here that he has hooked under my leg here, I'm just gonna let him push my own leg over the top of his elbow because they're gonna be resisting anyways. So chances are if you're pushing down, he's gonna be pushing up. It's just natural human reaction to resist the position, right? So if I'm pushing my leg down, trying to squeeze tight, he's probably gonna be pushing up a little bit. I'm just gonna push his elbow and watch what I do with my calf and under my knee here. It's just gonna slide over the top of his elbow here. Now with this position here, it's just, all I have to do is start to extend and it's easily gonna unwind his rear naked choke defense, okay? Just by using leverage with my leg. So pushing with your hand sometimes may not be enough, but luckily your leg's right there and it usually will just slide right into position. Doesn't take any flexibility really. All you're doing is picking your leg up and putting it on the opposite side of his elbow, like this. Now from here, once I start to put pressure like this and slide his elbow off, now we can easily get the armbar. Okay? One more time. Go ahead, figure 4 again. So, gripping the collar, pushing on the elbow. I like to lean towards his legs as well. I don't like to lean away like this because there's the chance that he may be able to do the hitchhiker escape as we roll. If he's really quick and you lose the control. But if you're leaning inwards, it kind of takes away his ability to spin out of the armbar. So I'm going to be pushing on the elbow, pulling back as much as I can. If that's not enough, I'm just bringing my leg up and over, resting on the inside of his elbow, and that from here extending away. There's not many people who have arms strong enough to resist that when you're using your leg and your whole back to break his grip. And then we can finish. Okay? Any questions on that? Just another, yeah, go ahead.
You had your feet crossed.
Did I?
Yeah. Is that like a bit, no, I mean, is that like your preference?
It depends. Honestly, I think it comes down to how long your legs are.
Yeah.
Like some people say you're not supposed to cross your legs from the armbar, but I personally cross my legs, and I'll tell you why. If you have your legs straight like this, he can lift this leg up, right? they're not connected. My legs aren't connected. So in theory, because my legs aren't connected, they're both going to be individually weaker. But if you have your legs connected and he tries to lift one leg up to create space or anything, having your legs crossed is going to make him twice as strong. Some guys, I train with a guy named Armbars who loves to grab my ankle. He'll grab my ankle like this underneath, like a horseshoe grip, and he'll just push it that in between his legs and like put me to half guard instantly. Now that's something that will not happen if you have your legs crossed, right? Some people say don't cross your legs, oh, because it opens your knees or something. But it really comes down to personal preference. Like you can have your legs here, but there's a lot, leaving your legs uncrossed can leave you open to a lot of things that leaving your legs crossed won't. If that makes sense.
Solid.
Yeah. And also having your legs crossed, it gives you like a different kind of control, like this way, like perpendicular to him. Whereas this is more like controlling this way. And it depends on how you like to do your arm bars. But a lot of times I like to cross my legs because I like to control this way. And I don't want him to sit up. Crossing my legs can kind of help me force his head down or keep his legs down if he's trying to throw his legs this way by just dropping my knee here. Whereas keeping everything very parallel and straight, he can have a lot of rocking power left and right, but he may not be able to turn into me. But like this, it's the opposite. He can't rock left and right, but he may be able to turn into me a little more.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Perfect.
So really, just whatever's comfortable for you. But for this, I like to cross my legs until I get to the actual position where I'm here. And then my legs, it doesn't matter.
For sure.
You're just breaking the grip and finishing. Very good question.
Thank you.
Anything else? Yes.
2 questions. The first one, from that position, does it matter which leg is on top?
No, it really doesn't. Whatever just naturally feels comfortable is fine. Because you're going to be uncrossing them anyways to throw your leg over the top
Perfect.
as well. And it also doesn't really matter which arm is through, as long as you're gripping the collar. You can grip this way through and push the elbow, or you can grip this way through and push the elbow. It really doesn't matter. Whatever you feel more comfortable with. Sometimes, for me, it's more of like how I set up the arm bar, like which arm is in there. Like, if, for instance, if I'm doing like a far side arm bar, if I'm here and I sit around like this, my arm is going to be facing this way, so I'll be gripping like this. So this arm is going to be through, gripping the collar. And from here, he didn't really have the proper positioning to get his figure 4 or his rear naked choke defense. So don't worry about which arm is through for this one as much if you're on top already. It's more about the legs I want you to worry about. Okay? Any other questions? Yes.
Same rationale from the bottom on the first technique you showed in regards to crossing your legs
Yeah.
versus not crossing.
It doesn't really matter, honestly. Whatever is more comfortable for you.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Let's do it on 3. 1, 2, 3.